I'm Peter Beard with the Greater Houston Partnership, and I oversee our Upskill Houston Regional Workforce Initiative. So Upskill Houston is a business-led, industry-led, collaborative effort that is really trying to address the skills gap challenge we have here in Houston, which is there are a number of great jobs in the region that require more than a high school diploma and less than a four-year baccalaureate degree. And these are highly skilled jobs that pay well, and really Upskill is about working with the business community and community partners like the independent school districts, the community colleges, the nonprofit organizations that are all working with individuals trying to help them prepare themselves for good jobs, and that's really what the focus of it is.
Is there a particular focus on the Northwest sector?
We focus by industries, and so the Northwest sector, as I understand it, has a couple really good strong industries which align to the 7 industry sectors we look at. As I understand it, obviously advanced manufacturing is big here in the Northwest area, along with healthcare. And so those advanced manufacturing and healthcare are critical sectors for us. The Northwest sector also is obviously going through a huge boom in terms of adding new facilities and buildings, and so the construction sector is a big part of, is another critical sector that we look at. The other 4 sectors are petrochem, oil and gas, port maritime, so I don't think that quite fits the bill, and then utilities. And so there are a lot of overlaps, but we've chosen to kind of focus more on the sectors because those sectors help drive our economy, and therefore the Northwest part would benefit from all of that.
How are you getting your arms around those folks that feed into the initiative?
One of the ways we go is we begin to look where tables have already been created. So for example, down in the petrochemical, kind of the port region where all the petrochemical plants are, the East Harris County Manufacturers Association has a workforce committee that consists of plant managers and HR directors and training directors and some community partners, and have been working on the workforce issue for a number of years. And so going to that table and then helping to bring other partners to help strengthen it. Same thing going on with the construction sector. When you look at the Associated Builders and Contractors and Association for General Contractors, those tables have been created to begin looking at workforce. So we go there. And same with manufacturing. There are tables where the manufacturers sit at. And so we're looking at kind of going to where folks are already caring about it rather than recreating it. But then bringing, organizations like the independent school districts and the community colleges and helping to align and coordinate across the region.
And that was going to be my next question is how tight of a bridge do you have between the educational systems, both higher education and high school, in order to feed the initiative that you have?
That's a great question because the skills gap really is both in a near-term issue for us, but in the long term is, essential for the long-term prosperity of the region and the long-term, competitiveness of the region. So if we're not only delivering kind of against the current challenge, but also working with the independent school districts that touch the population and make kids aware about the opportunities and what they could be doing to help train themselves, whether it's for a 4-year degree, because there are huge opportunities for 4-year degrees here in the region, but there are huge opportunities for certificates and 2-year degrees that all pay well, usually starting about $60,000. And once you're with a company, companies are hugely incented to kind of retain folks and continue the development. And so that's who we're trying to really work with, is the independent school districts and the community colleges, because it's a supply chain in essence, and we need to have it much more coordinated and aligned.
Are there any ISDs that are further, that are more ready, I'll say, than others to take advantage of what you're offering?
I think there are some of the smaller ones tend to be a little more nimble, and so certainly in the Deer Park, Pasadena area, the ISDs there have been much more responsive to what's been going on, partly because the significant presence of that. But we're also seeing, Aldine and A-Leaf, really stepping up as well in terms of being able to kind of work differently with the business community in that space.
If there's one thing you would want to leave the attendees with from the Greater Partnership and this initiative, what would it be?
I mean, I think the biggest challenge is our long-term success as a region and as a city is really based upon our long-term economic competitiveness, which also requires ensuring that all our residents are sharing in that prosperity. And so really beginning to focus in on the skills gap and what we can be doing and engaging with students in the schools and what we as a business community and as citizens are doing to help both change the perception and participate in bringing this to life in a very different way.
My name's David Thompson. Well, I was very honored today to be part of the education panel here at the Northwest Chambers Forum, and it's a great crowd and always a great meeting, and I was very appreciative of being invited to attend and participate.
All right, so
my particular part of it, I am an attorney. Our law firm represents many school districts. We represent many colleges, community colleges. In fact, work with Cy-Fair, Tomball, Klein, Spring, Lone Star, many of the institutions out in this great part of the county. I was focusing on some of the issues that we see as lawyers. And in particular, what I noted was we have a number of successes in our schools today, but we're facing real challenges with our growing population of low-income and at-risk kids. Our economic success is obviously dependent on all of our kids doing well, but I think we have to recognize where our challenges are. And as part of that, our law firm is representing many school districts in this area in some of their litigation over our state funding system, trying to work with the legislature to improve how we fund and take care of our schools.
So would you say it's critical that from a legal standpoint there's an understanding about the paths and the avenues to take in order to be successful?
I believe it is absolutely critical, and forums like this today I think are great opportunities to increase that awareness and that kind of collective understanding in communities, and so I think it's a great effort by the Chamber.
Are most of the issues proactive or reactive?
There's always a combination. I think any of us in our lives, some of it's reactive. We're trying to clean up and deal with things that have happened in the past, but we can't spend all of our time on that. And fortunately, a good part of our discussion today was looking forward. The proactive part, particularly House Bill 5 that passed in 2013, that we're in the process of implementing, looking forward, I think should provide great opportunities for children to meet and to fill some of these educational and workforce opportunities that we have available in our area.